What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm really looking forward to this video because this is a question we have received 100 million times in our in our career. It is a very common one, a very good discussion, and it's one I'm very qualified to speak on. And today we are talking about, do you need a real estate license to be a real estate investor? Is it going to help you? Is it going to hurt you? Let's talk about the ins and outs of this particular conversation. It's a very common one. I personally have held a real estate license since 2013, and that's what makes me qualified to have this discussion. Also been buying and selling houses and owning rental properties all the way back since 2025. Or 2005, I'm sorry, it's now 2025. I'm 20 years deep in the game. I've seen every single up and down that you possibly can. I've been bankrupt before. I've foreclosed on properties before. I've bought hundreds. At one point, I've been a part of ownership on over 600 properties at once. It's just absolute pure insanity. And that's what qualifies me to coach real estate. Still active in the game. If you are new to the channel, hello, welcome. This is the cream. We are full-time real estate investors, been in the game a long time, as I just mentioned. And we love what we do. You know what they say is knowledge is learning from your mistakes. Wisdom is learning from other people's mistakes. So we teach a lot of lessons on this particular channel. We also talk about our wins. We're buying houses actively. We're in the great state of Ohio, but we do real estate deals in numerous different states. We are experts at virtual flipping, rental properties, everything that kind of goes along with the off-market real estate type of business. That's our main focus, right? Going after off-market deals. I should probably explain what that is. Because that's actually relevant to the conversation about realtors, right? So when we go after an off-market deal, we're going after something that's not listed with a realtor. So we go right to the market. We're doing a lot of online marketing. That's the main gist of our current marketing for our real estate investing business. We do, online leads, pay-per-click Google ads, and we do pay-per-lead. And you can set up your own account, creamleads.com. That'll be down in the description, but that's what we do. I mean, this is our marketing strategy, right? And what we're doing is going directly to the consumer or to the homeowner. And, we buy houses, people fill out a form, we get them on the phone, and we seek motivation. We're looking for motivated sellers. In fact, if a seller's not motivated, like they don't, have a need to sell, they just want to sell. Well, if they just want to sell, we tell them straight up, you should be working with a realtor. That's going to be your best bet, right? However, if they need to sell and they need something fast or they need something flexible, we're those guys. We can close with all cash. We raise a ton of private money. We teach you to do the same in your own real estate investing business. But there's a big need for realtors out there. By any means, I'm not hating on realtors. We work with them every single day. I'm in contract with like 4 or 5 deals, right? For flipping properties. When we flip properties, we use realtors. It's the best way, arguably. If you're doing flips, especially like, fix and flip type of stuff, you got to list that sucker. You got to sell it to a homeowner. The way you're going to find a homeowner type buyer for your fix and flip type of deals, MLS, multiple listing service. Got to work with a realtor. So we love realtors. I've been a realtor since 2013. And really, there's 2 aspects of this whole thing. Like the realtor, the biggest benefit to a real estate investor of having a real estate license, not arguably, but hands down, is having access to the MLS. As a real estate investor, to have access to the MLS for your target market is an extremely powerful tool. Mostly because you can see what's going on in the marketplace, especially with comparables and things like that. Hands down, best comps. You're getting the best comps from the MLS. Now, there's a lot of really good services out there. In fact, I'm not going to kid you. Since we do a lot of virtual wholesaling, I don't have access to MLS in Florida, where we do a lot of marketing, Texas. We even do some stuff. We got one in Hawaii right now. I got a contract in Hawaii. So I don't have access to MLS in all of these places. So there are ways to get comparables that we teach, right? in markets that you don't have access to the MLS. But if you do have access to the MLS, hands down, it's the best source of comps. That's a powerful tool. Also, another powerful advantage to you as a real estate investor is if you are fixing and flipping, or if you're selling properties on the MLS, you can list them yourself. You can save money on a commission. Now, there's a way, because my license currently is inactive. I've inactivated it just because I don't need it at the moment, right? That might turn around. I got some things in the works. Maybe I'll fill you in on that. But we still list our properties in-house, though. Here's a little nugget for you. We use an online broker, flat fee broker, just pay a couple $100. So we actually internally, we still sell our properties on the MLS. But we use a flat fee online broker, but we're still working with buyers agents. So right to this day, when we have a flip that we're selling and we want to sell it on the MLS, we don't use my license. I don't take it on as a listing to be the realtor. We just pay $400 or $500, do the online broker thing, but we still take the calls from buyers agents and buyers who are interested. And we love working with agents. They're great. They're really great. We understand the paperwork. It's very boilerplate template. It's easy. You set up your showings. So the MLS is a very powerful tool. Working with realtors, especially on the dispositions end, the selling of properties, that's going to be your best bet. When we do novations, everybody, and if you're not familiar with what novations are, go back, check out our videos. I talk about them pretty much twice a week. I'm always talking about them. We do a lot of them. That's why it's a great way to make money without taking on a ton of risk. I put it in the same category as like a wholesale deal, where control a property without the ownership. So you don't got to take on the debt, don't got to take on the risk, but you are actively listing this property on the MLS to find a retail-minded buyer, somebody using FHA or conventional financing to buy this property, still making a spread, fully disclosed to the seller, the buyer. Everything's on the up and up, right? Got to be on the up and up. A title company won't even close your novation deals if you don't have your paperwork all put together. And if you guys want to learn how to do this, jump in the Skool community, and that link is down below. I got I got all the paperwork that you need, scripts, and exactly training videos on how to fill out the paperwork with the seller. It's like no brainer. We're writing them all the time, right? That's wholesale. That's for wholesale and novations. But realtors are very valuable when we're selling our properties. Do you need a real estate license to be a real estate investor? The short answer is absolutely not. You should know that. There's a lot. I would say the majority of real estate investors. Do you need a real estate license to own rental properties for yourself? No. Do you need a real estate license to manage rental properties for yourself? No. Do you need a real estate license to manage properties for someone else? Yes. Right? Anytime there's any type of representation, right? Whenever you're performing duties on behalf of somebody else, that's what's called agency. I think about it like a sports agent, right? You got a football player, he's the one out on the field, but the agent's the one who's kind of like managing the contracts and stuff like that. That's how it is in real estate. That's agency, right? So if you got somebody else, they're the player on the field, they own rental properties. If you want to help them out and manage their properties or represent them and help them sell their property, you need a license. You need agency, right? But for yourself, no, you don't. You can sell a house for sale by owner. You can sell a house with an online broker like we do many times. We sell a lot for sale by owner too. A lot of our wholesale deals, depending on where they're located. This is important. Depending on where they're located. If we have a strong pool of buyers, like it's a major metropolitan area, it's a lot of cash buyers, we still do just straight up assignments, just as a real estate investment company. You don't need a real estate license for that. You only need a real estate license when you're representing somebody else. Now, here's the thing. Let's pretend you do have a real estate license, and sometimes people get a little scared and they're like, well, what is this going to look like? Do I have to disclose that I'm an agent? Here's a great question. Do I have to disclose that I'm a realtor if I'm marketing myself as We Buy Houses? The answer is no. You could go put signs out. You could run online ads that say, I buy houses. If you buy houses, if you're a real estate investor and you're looking to buy houses, great, right? Now, those leads that you generate with your message, with your house buying company, ABC Home Buyers, I buy houses, great. You're just disclosing ABC Home Buyers buys houses. You're not marketing to represent other people or something like that. Now, let's pretend one of the leads that comes in from ABC Home Buyers, you're like, well, there's nothing I can do for you. I can't buy the house. However, I am a licensed. Now you disclose. If you want to approach this now, if you want to turn a home buying lead into a uh, a realtor listing, yeah, of course you got to disclose that. But if you're just working a lead that came in to your home buying investor efforts, we buy houses, I don't care if it's a sign on the road or anything like that. If you are working this lead as a real estate investor, you attracted the lead from your home buying company efforts. It's not like here's where it gets gray. Here's where it gets, where you can get yourself in hot water. Let's pretend you're marketing yourself as a realtor. Judy Realtor, I'm the best realtor in town. Call me and I'll sell your house for top dollar. And you got your broker's, symbol on there. You got to follow rules and requirements, of course, when you're marketing yourself as a realtor. You got to follow the guidelines. So let's say Judy with Remax is putting billboards all around town and she's saying, I'm a realtor, call me. And then the leads that come in from Judy's billboards as the realtor, now she's trying to convert them all to ABC Home Buying Company. She's like, hey, actually, I'm a buyer. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to list your house. It's better just to sell to me. That's not ethical. That's not the way to do this thing. If you're marketing yourself as a realtor, because really it's the broker's leads, right? When you are an agent, you hang your license with a broker. In those efforts, you got to run everything through the broker, right? So if you're marketing yourself as a licensed realtor, but then you're doing it as a ploy to buy more houses for yourself, that ain't the way to do this thing. That's wrong. It's not the way. However, if somebody comes in and they say, yes, I want to sell my house and I need to move fast or something like that, I would talk to your broker about it. Like if it's a bona fide lead where they're like, no, I don't even want to list with you. I just want to sell it. Can you buy this thing today? Something like that. I've never been in that type of situation. I would run it through your broker, but you definitely need to talk to your broker. If you're a licensed agent and then through your realtor marketing efforts, you're attracting leads and you want to buy one of those leads, I would run it through the broker. I absolutely would. You just want to be on the up and up. And the reason I say this, the reason I keep harping on the fact that everything needs to be done correctly is because guess who is literally been interrogated by the board of real estate, the division of real estate. Yours truly, everybody. Yours truly. I know them by name. I'm getting ready to put these people on my Christmas list or on my Christmas card list. We know each other, and they've always been wonderful to work with. I'm not here to hate on these people. They're doing their job. And a big part of that is we own, operate, and manage a very large 14,000 plus people Facebook group full of realtors, investors, and I'm the admin. I'm posting on there all the time. Obviously, there's some stuff. Right? Sometimes the board of real estate just wants to know what you're doing and do everything on the up and up. I've shared all my paperwork, with them. They're very friendly to me because we do everything the right way. We're not trying to hide and pull any punches. Everything we do is by the book, as it should be for you. You don't need to do anything shady. The biggest thing is if you're a realtor, if you're a realtor and a real estate investor, it's all about the marketing, right? If you're putting yourself out there as a realtor, but then you're converting these leads to a home buyer, you're not doing it the right way. It's not right. However, if you own an LLC, if you own a business for real estate investing and you're marketing that business, do you have to basically tell them, hey, I'm a licensed realtor? Like this lead where you're buying their house, you told them you're marketing yourself as a home buyer and now you're buying their house. We still disclose it. Honestly, we still disclose it. I don't know if you need to or not. I would just do it. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Why not? It's so easy. You just put it in your purchase and sale agreement and it says a member of write this down. Write this down. If you're a realtor and you're buying houses, right, you're attracting off-market opportunities and whatnot, put this in your purchase and sale agreement if you're a licensed agent. A member of the buyer, see, a member, because it's an LLC, it's your home buying LLC that is the buyer, right? A member of the buyer, which is you, you're a member of this company. A member of the buyer is a licensed realtor in the state of blank, wherever you're a licensed realtor at. For me, it'd be Ohio. A member of the buyer is a licensed realtor. And just go through the contract. No one cares, because when you are going through these purchase and sale agreements with the seller, you know, they're just signing this thing. All they care about is how much money are they getting and when is it closing. Done. Done. Right? So, do you need a real estate license to practice real estate, or to buy? What I should say is buy houses. Do you need a real estate license to buy houses? The answer is no. If you're a bona fide buyer, let's pretend you're a wholesaler, right? Well, you got to be careful on how you're marketing the properties that you have in contract. And here's a big tidbit for you. And I've actually interviewed the superintendent of real estate for the state of Ohio, gotten clear. I was the one who put this on Front Street. Everybody was hiding around and not knowing what to do. We put it out there so everyone knows what to do now. In fact, it was from our efforts that everybody does it this way now. Everyone that I see, it's you sell the contract. This is what it is, everybody. Meaning you put the property into contract with the seller. So you got this property in contract for $100K, and you're going to look to wholesale it and find a buyer for $120. Typical wholesale deal. You don't market the property for sale because it's not your property. You can't market a property you don't own. You market the contract for sale because you don't own the property, but you do own the contract. So you market the contract for sale for a fee of $20K. Therefore, the buyer is going to come in, pay the fee of $20K, your assignment fee, take over this contract that you assigned to them, and buy the property for $100. Their all-in purchase price at this point is $120, $20 for your fee and $100 for the property. The seller gets what they were promised, which is the $100K in this example, right? But it's all about how you market it. You can't market, hey, I'm for sale by owner. 123 Main Street. I got this thing in contract, or you don't even say that. Like, let's just pretend you got 123 Main Street in contract, and now you're putting it out online for sale by owner. I'm selling this house. It's like it's yours. Nah, it ain't your house. You got to market the contract. Market what you own. You don't own the house. So, just some tidbits, and I'm going to finalize it with this. This is very important. Realtors and real estate investors. There's three main differences, and I'm just going to scratch the surface here just a little bit, but this is big. You got to have a different skill set. If you're going to be a real estate investor, you got to have these three differences to a licensed realtor. A run-of-the-mill retail realtor, like the people that we work with every single day that we love. We love our realtors. They bring us buyers. We do great business with realtors. However, if you're a realtor and now you're venturing into real estate investors, just know, to be successful in the real estate investing business, you're going to need a different skill set, you're going to need different habits, and you're going to need a different network. Let me just divulge on this just a little bit. Different skill set. You're not working with, it's not, see, my mother-in-law, I love her very much. She's a very successful realtor, and she looks amazing. She dresses up, makeup and clothes, and goes on lunch appointments and goes to meetups, and she works with different loan officers and mortgage brokers. That's like the retail realtor crowd. It's like this fancy crowd, okay? The off-market investor crowd, where we're going after houses that are off-market and whatnot, working with these motivated sellers, it ain't the same crowd. It's more of a rugged crowd. I was in a meth house yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. The lady was picking sores on her face, and I have pictures of it. I won't be sharing those unless you join our Skool community and send me a DM. I might share it with you. I don't care. It was bad. The second worst I've been in. Third worst. However, a prissy, fancy realtor is not going to be too comfortable in that situation. However, this is a property we're getting a dirt cheap deal on. We're getting a home run deal on, wrote the contract, did the whole deal. Different skill set. A retail type realtor versus somebody who's lacing up their boots, putting on their hard hat, and going through freaking real nasty situations with these hoarder houses, junker houses. Different habits. You got to have an element of different. It's a different level of mental toughness with this business ownership. So when you're doing a real estate investing business, your habits are going to be different. Your daily routine is going to be much different. You need some leadership training. You just need to be a beast. If you're going to be having assistants and you're going to be, especially just the negotiation. We're talking motivated sellers and whatnot, and we teach this stuff, right? It's just a different conversation than somebody who's just going for a listing, right? Different conversation, different clientele, right? But your habits got to be different. You just got to be a little bit of a beast. I think you got to be a beast with anything you do. It's just different, right? If you're a badass, successful ass realtor, you're going to have some strong habits too. I mean, it's any business, right? I don't care if you own, a laundromat business. I don't care you just got to be successful, guys. And that's what we're here to do. We do a lot of personal development on this channel. I love that. The better you develop yourself, the better your businesses will be and the better your relationships will be. My life changed completely over the last 3 years. Go back and look at my old videos. I was a joke compared to what I am now. That's why I'm happy to be the best version of myself with you. And you're going to need a different network. So when you are a retail realtor, you're working with more retail type mortgage brokers, people who are doing financing for retail buyers. These are buyers who are going to be living in the property. When you are networking as a real estate investor, you're more networking with private lenders, hard money lenders, lenders that are going to fund your projects and whatnot. Different type of lender. That's the biggest thing. Same type of title company. A title company is going to work well with any type of transaction on the retail side versus the off-market investor side. But you're going to need a different network specifically when it comes to the lending and the financing. I've already said too much, everybody. I've been going for 20 minutes. Everybody, hit me up in the comments. Join our Skool community. I'd love to get to know you better. We got a couple hundred people in there right now. It's amazing. I'm very blessed, grateful. Love you all. We'll see you soon.